Good evening, everyone. This is the theme along with
Reverend
and Gray Mouse 1.
And this subject is about, well, something that we just recently received in the mail. I know that Gray Mouse has got his, and I've got mine as well. So let's show the people, shall we? Drum roll, please. And here we go.
I have my dick in my hand. I don't know.
Dude, that's why shit like this gets attacked. So remarks like that when shit like this is presented, instead of saying, yeah, I got my dick in my head because I got my dick hard because I love video games so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know if people would be bothered if I showed it on camera. So,
and well, we would leave this conversation if that happens. But here we go.
I got Dead or Alive also.
There you go.
Hey, now wait a minute. I got other Dead or Alive too, but
yes.
This has a special significance as of right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you tried to stop us from getting it, and you couldn't stop us from getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, look, I don't even have a PlayStation 4 yet, but I did this out of spite because I should have the option to get something or not. It shouldn't be just taken away. It shouldn't be just, oh, you're not allowed to have it in the USA, the land of freedom, but you're not allowed to have that shit. Even though you're a grown motherfucker and you take care of your shit and so on and so forth. No, you're not allowed to have that, and it's not against the law or anything like that. No, you can't have that because you have dick and balls and you know how to use it and so on and so
Well,
forth.
the thing is, though, I mean, there is a reason why it says 18 on the bottom. You know, I mean, that kind of indication of what kind of context this game is. But
it's not.
But that's not enough.
No, I mean,
the rating system is. It's funny because I remember saying it in the '90s. I was like, the rating system won't be enough.
Well, here's the ESRB really went ahead and set up the rating system just to make sure that the feds went ahead and backed off from the video game industry. It's very similar to what happened with movies, and also very similar to what happened with comic books back in the 50s and 60s.
Absolutely.
You know, what happened was that it just happened to be the popular. Well, it's still the popular entertainment medium right now, and industry had a way of showing that, hey, look, well, as far as industry professionals putting out the media and everything else, we're trying to be responsible to let people know this is what's inside the box. Without doing that, though, it would be much, much worse if the ESRB was never established, believe me.
But it's still the stereotype that video games are for children. There are still some dick lickers that actually still believe video games are still for children.
Well, a lot
Even
of those,
though they have a rating system that's mature or for 18 years of age or older and so on and so forth.
I mean, well, a lot of those people don't realize that the reason why the video games as an entertainment media has gotten so big and so successful is that it's no longer the situation where games are being bought by parents for little Johnny and little Susie as presents anymore. Guess what? Little Johnny and little Susie, they grew up. They have their own fucking money, and they have their own fucking kids. All right? They never stop playing video games.
Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly.
us right here is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Why do we play video games, people? Because it's fucking fun, all right? This has nothing to do with, oh, these guys don't want to grow up. Say that to my fucking face.
And the problem is, I'm sorry, you know, I don't live in my parents' basement. I mean, this is not a basement. You know.
It's a paragon of
And I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of that stereotype.
I've had people that seen what's in this fucking man cave of mine and what's in my background, and this is my own fucking place. So it's like, all right, look,
I mean,
you have responsible adults.
I mean, all three of us have our own.
Well, not just all three of us. There are fucking responsible adults all over the place that do what they
have a family. We do other things besides games.
Here's the thing. I mean, if you were to go ahead and ask any XYZ gamer, all right, look, why do you go ahead and game? All right. And in fact, go out of your way and pick any male gamer. Why do you game? As a young boy or as a grown man, why do you game? Why do you play video games? First thing they're probably going to go ahead and answer is that it's fun. This is what entertains me. I dare you to find that young man out there who's going to say, well, I video game because it perpetuates the patriarchy and I hate women and I think all women out there should naked and running around with F-cup breasts that bounce all directions and everything else.
I need to jack off.
Yeah.
You're making people do that.
There was nothing else that I could get that I could just beat off to. And oh my God, even though I ordered this off the internet, and the internet has all sorts of things that you could beat off to, but this was the only source that I had. Oh my God, no! You fucking idiots. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, it's fucking real, all right? Yes, yep. It's not just a fucking case. No, it's fucking real, all right? Yeah, God damn it.
But I mean, I did a video back in November, rebuking that bullshit. And in that video, I said, I'm just going to buy it.
I said I was going to get it. Because I was like, look.
You aren't going to stop me. And especially here's the thing that the PlayStation 4, Xbox One is all region free. That just makes it easier.
Here's the thing. This is what pisses me off about certain people. And I'm not going to name no names, but there's certain YouTubers that reported on this, about this game here. Well, it was just a sucky game, and Tecmo decided that they weren't going to import it because the numbers didn't do that well. And it's like, wait a second. The first two games were on the Xbox. Xbox doesn't do well in fucking Japan.
I've been there.
Yeah, we've lived there. Me and Gray Mouse have lived there.
So that's a bunch of shit.
And so the numbers that did well for the first two were in the United States. And for Tecmo and for those YouTubers out there that said that, oh, well, the first two didn't do that well in numbers in the United States. And no, it wasn't because of the backlash, because of the social justice warriors. And my basic question was this. Why were SJWs or SJ ISIS members giving PlayAsia.com such a fucking hard time when they said, hey, you want the game? We'll import it for you.
And the thing about it,
backlash was huge from that.
It was instantaneous. As soon as PlayAsia said that, it was instant. The SJWs were on their ass, that second, after the tweet.
So it's basically like, okay, then why was that sort of backlash then? If the game was just so sucky that it just wasn't going to come here, why was there backlash?
Well,
because they didn't fucking want it here.
The problem is that obviously they didn't play Dead or Alive 3. If they did, they would understand the whole reason why this is, it explains it. And again,
I'm gonna bring this up. All right,
your freaking controller.
Because I've said this before. All right, it doesn't matter what other games existed before it. All right, it doesn't matter if there's a long legacy of games. It doesn't matter if the designers of the games are women, or they've worked in women's charities, or they've went ahead and made huge strides to help women within the industry, or even better their lives altogether. The folks who go out of their way to go ahead and attack, certain titles, or brand them as something that is, not needed or shouldn't even exist. Guess what? The details behind anything at all, it doesn't fucking matter to them. All right, so I'm not even going to emphasize that. I'm not even going to sit there and say anything.
You're right. Absolutely.
Or story or anything like that, because that sort of shit, as far as it goes, it falls on deaf ears. And besides that, if we're going to sit there and we're going to emphasize the ability to make, choices based on your personal freedom, all right, that's irrelevant anyways. Exactly. All right, It could have been a game about fucking tiddlywinks. All right, they could have been angry if there was a rainbow on the cover and there was no LGBT characters inside. Okay, I'm serious.
I know.
These
That's
are the
why
types of folks that are up in arms about this.
it's fucked up that I have to laugh about it because seriously, that is the fucking case. And that's the thing about it. The people that were mad about this is like, have you ever played the DOA Extreme Beach volleyball? Well, that's not the point. What?
That it, I mean, what the Reverend said is very valid. It don't matter to them. But when they come forth, when they try, when they ask, why does this game exist? And then gamers are like, well, this exists because at the end of Dead or Alive 3, Zach did this, this, and this, and this. And his island got blew up a couple. That's the reason why there's this game. It's not.
No, you shouldn't even have to go that far. It exists.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
It exists because a
exists.
group of people put it together and put it out on the market.
Absolutely.
This is part 3. This is not the first one. This is not the second one. This franchise has been out ever since the first fucking Xbox.
Yep.
So it's like, wait a second here. And again, it's like, did you play the games? If you will play the games, you will understand that, for one, it's a good fucking volleyball game. Well, it is.
All they see
has good control.
All they see it is women on the front in bathing suits. I mean,
there are not enough female protagonists in gaming.
But look.
Oh no, it's the point that they have no choice or agency, so they're obviously slaves.
There you go. And look, I mentioned this in my damn video in November.
Objectification of women is just as damaging to women out in the real world.
Mario is a plumber. Peach is a princess. He could have chose to get hit by that Goomba and say, fuck it. That female can stay where she is.
But what I'm saying is just, I mean, in real life, when you're at a beach and you see people playing beach volleyball.
Excellent point.
Man and female, what are they doing? What are they in? They're not in jeans.
They're not fully fucking clothed.
No, it just don't happen that way.
They're not even wearing sandals. They're barefoot.
I'm not looking for logic in any of the argument.
No, because they don't have an argument to come forward with. They don't have any.
But like I said, all they see is scantily clad women in bathing suits.
They see something that straight men are attracted to, and that's their issue. Because the thing about it is, if you're straight, if you're male, you're their target. They don't want you to be attracted to anything that they're just totally against, or that they're jealous of, because that's what it's basically all about.
It's because the male gaze is on this instead of them.
Male gaze is what we're attracted to. Just like our sense of smell, something smells good, we're attracted to that instantly, regardless if it's food, a person, a room. We don't care. If something looks good, we're attracted to it. It doesn't matter if it's a painting, a person, the sky, the clouds at that briefly fucking rainbow in the clouds. Does not fucking matter. A car, a house. Doesn't fucking matter. On Halloween, we want to see the best decorated house. We're attracted to that shit, and it's due to the times. Christmas lights, Santa Claus on top of roofs with reindeer and sleigh. That is attraction. You can't get rid of that. And that's what these SJ ISIS members have to fucking figure out, even though they will never fucking figure it out. And this culture war is at its peak. It's at its peak, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say this, I'm going to go on record saying this. If Hillary Clinton becomes president of the United States, there will be a civil war. Because that's when this will be the strongest. That's when SJ ISIS, SJWs, whatever, will be the strongest. That's when feelings over facts will be the strongest and virtually untouchable. And it will break people like us down to a point where certain people out there will lose their fucking minds because they'll lose everything. Or they'll feel like they lost everything.
Well,
it's like,
I tell you
can't
what.
even have a decision for me to be me anymore. Fuck you. I can't like what I like anymore. I can't say what I can say anymore. Wait a minute. I thought this was America. Fuck all of that.
You know, I tell you what. I've gone on and I've played this game for 5 hours.
That's just as long as you play Tomb Raider.
Pretty much. But I've played this for 5 hours, and it's extremely entertaining. It's not just about looking at the women. You got the social interaction. You got people that don't like each other.
Hey, I used to play the first one to spike the ball as hard as I can to put people on their ass.
And on this one, you got an ownership mode. So you're not just dealing with one girl now. You're dealing with the whole cast, and you got them. So it's not.
I see more SJW comments. What, you own the girls? Really?
Yes. No. You're the owner of the resort.
Well, fuck. I own I own a whole bunch of men too, because I own more men that are in video games than female. I own a lot of objects too. I own planes. I own jets. I own ships. Fuck. I own ninjas. I own plumbers. I own a princess too, because Princess Peach has her own fucking game. I own go-karts.
Yeah, and the only game it's.
I own a whole bunch of animals. I own foxes that drive planes in space. And
so basically, what the theme is saying is that you can't just focus on one thing.
No.
You cannot just focus, so you own the girl. No. You can't just point at one thing and just completely ignore all the other things.
For just a moment, I'm going to address a few other people who might be looking at this video and say, but they're just video games. Look, a few years ago, a few decades back, actually in the 1950s and the 1960s, when Frederick Bertham was going around and he was witch hunting and he was sending comic book publishers and periodical publishers out of business. Yep. And he had the FBI behind him and he had the huge forum. Everybody was all eyes on him and everything, trying to witch hunt publishers and creative people, good people who may have fought in World War II and were coming back and they were trying to build their lives, all right? Mm-hmm. And they weren't out there killing babies or anything. But he openly said, comic books, this is the bane of America. It not only encourages crime and violence, but it's a cause of homosexuality and drug use. All right? He went out of his way and he published his memoirs, and he ended up in front of Congress off of his platform. All right? Here's the thing, all right? For the folks who sit there and say it's just video games, guess what? That's what they said about movies. That's what they said about TV. That's what they said about books. And that's what they said about comics. That's what they said about music. All right? That's what they said about painting. That's what they said about talking to people in other fucking countries and traveling around. Let me just go ahead and frame this, all right? Look, if you're sitting there and you're saying, hey, look, but all that stuff is stuff that ended up being culturally relevant. Video games have been around ever since the fucking 70s, all right? And right now, they are the largest fucking revenue-earning
multi-billion
in the world. Multiple billion, all right? Hollywood would kill to go ahead and make the type of money that video games make. Hollywood producers, the guys who are in charge of Sony, Fox, fucking even Disney themselves, they would suck dick. They would cut their owns off. They would cut off boobs of their wives. They would behead their fucking siblings and shit to be able to make that same type of money. And you're saying, it's just video games. Well, that's what they said about comic books. Guess what earns the most money in movies right now? Comic books. Oh, it's just video games. Fuck you, all right? Look, this is what's going on, all right? You sat there and you go ahead and you dismiss something like that. Sure, go ahead. Guess what? Every other fucking form of entertainment out there has come under attack at one time or another. And people like us who are passionate enough to actually go ahead and say something about it, we're fucking ridiculed, all right? Guess what? Gamers are used to it. Generally speaking, we want to be left alone. All right. But when you have this many fucking people talking about it, it's not just a figment of our fucking imaginations. All right. Think about this for a moment here.
Well, another thing too. Let me ask you a question here. Do you think that in today's world, do you think Shakespeare could do any of his plays and actually have it published? Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. Do you think that would actually be able to?
If they were not already established as classics.
No. I'm just saying because if
all right.
It was ridiculed when it was released. I mean, Edgar Allan Poe, he was insane. If you read he was gone. He was out there.
Look,
and he was ridiculed.
If they went ahead and they published Macbeth, all right. Somebody came up with the story of Macbeth today,
yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
People would be up in arms. Okay.
Isn't there a movie coming out?
Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody who sat there and said, "Oh, there are no colored people, there are no trans people, there are no LGBT people in the Middle Ages of fucking Denmark at that time." No, not in the fucking castle.
Oh my god!
All right.
I mean, you got poems like "Pit and the Pendulum." I mean, where the thing it's kind of like a man tied
what
to
if
a
Stephen
freaking.
King was starting now?
I mean,
that's serious.
No,
what if Stephen King was starting right now?
Oh, Stephen King would actually. He'd probably whenever he releases stuff, people would probably have parades because he's gay.
Okay, fine, but look at all the shit that he's released.
You know, I mean the stuff about it. I mean, what they would probably go ahead and.
The only thing that will probably survive is Misery.
No, there's a whole bunch of things, but I think
I'm just talking about the narrative that S.J. Isis never followed.
A lot of his stories would probably come under flack. All right,
I mean, and that doesn't even go. It's just we're playing devil's advocate here, but the point is
we're still presenting our
that
side.
it's just at this particular time it's for some reason everybody's focused on gaming, and much of the reason why you said before the Reverend, was that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry and they're trying to take it out.
They're focused on straight males and what they like. If it's a priority, think about it.
Well,
the music. Wait. Let me say this: the music industry and the movie industry have women that are up because that was their interest and they got into it. They try to frame and blame video games for misogyny when it's the bottom line that women are not interested. As a vast majority, they are not interested in video games. They're just not, regardless of what anyone has to say.
What's
not the vast majority.
What's really fucked up is that the music industry was looked at underneath the microscope, so that didn't work. Movie industry, they looked it up underneath the telescope or microscope.
There's still women dancing almost butt ass naked, butt ass naked.
That's what I'm saying. Look. It was music didn't work. Movies didn't work. Comic books didn't work. So what's left? Video games. And it ain't working, motherfuckers. It's not.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of prop up what the theme has been emphasizing. The funny thing about video games as an industry, when it came back from the brink of extinction, all right? And when it came back and Nintendo entered the foray.
Thanks, Nintendo.
All right. Yes, if you're a gamer, like Thema said before, you owe your fucking gaming life to Nintendo. All right. Because without them, the industry would never come back. All right. Here's the problem. When Nintendo went ahead and they had their system and they presented it to the market, the people that they went to, it wasn't to software stores. It wasn't to CompUSA. Or any of those places or any of the computer places. They went to toy stores. All right. They said, all right, this is this type of device is an entertainment device that's going to sit in people's home and they're going to have fun. The problem is that when you're sitting there and you're setting up toy stores and you have to go ahead and handle advertising and marketing, they have all the items assigned for boys, for girls, or unisex. All right. And what ended up with the Nintendo and Entertainment System, they put it in the boys section. All right. Okay. So by default, yeah, unfortunately, because of marketing and a lot of other propaganda out there, it was brought out as a quote unquote boys thing. All right. But
you want to know why?
But the funny thing about that though is that if you've ever actually poked your toe into the actual gaming demographic, there are still females who play. All right. And guess what? The most rabid ones are just like us. They grew up having fucking video games around. They never stopped fucking playing. All right. Now that you've got 30, 40 fucking years of this being a boys product, all right, with all the rest of the fucking indoctrination and fucking way that they're treating kids and what they're teaching kids now. All right. You know, look, 40 years ago, if you sat there and said, girl, you'll be fine taking care of that kid by yourself. You don't need no man. People would sit there, stop, and look at you like you had two fucking heads. Yep. All right. There's a lot of young dudes out there who have no idea how to be fucking men. All right. And this type of shit, it didn't happen by accident. All right. If you sit there and you see how that fits into the bigger picture and why certain guys are coming out and they're saying this stuff like this. All right. You know, people are like, MRA, what a fucking joke. Why are you sitting there belittling the rights of anybody?
Exactly.
I thought yours was a way of tolerance. All right. Yeah. Oh, you're okay with anything as long as you agree with it, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Okay.
The thing is, though, back when you were in the 80s and like you were saying, video games was a bad word. Oh, you play video games? Now, since it's become more mainstream, oh, you play video games? I like this game. I like this game. It's changed. So
it was the same thing with comic books.
It was the same. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. So
there in fucking local cable channels too and shit like that. You know?
Mm-hmm. And so, the point I'm making is that this is just another. They just focus on video games now because they look at it like this is a multi-billion-dollar industry now, and like you said, they don't like what they see.
Look, the mainstream presence of video games should have went ahead and meted that out. But something is around out there that's perpetuating that type of fucking feeling and that type of resentment toward not only video games, but activity that is masculine. All right.
You want to know why?
Let's be honest. Everybody's got one of these on.
I get so pissed off,
and they've got games on it. Okay. I
get so pissed off when you try that shit. It's not a male-dominated. I hate when.
Here's the
male-dominated. It's not.
Here's the problem.
The boys-only club. It's not.
But here's the problem. My Little Pony video games are not successful. Barbie games are not successful. Ashley Kate and Mary and Ashley Kate games are not successful
because they usually suck.
Britney's Dance Beat is not successful. These are video games. Guess who was playing them? No one, because girls didn't want to play them, and dudes didn't want to play them because they sucked.
Yep.
This is not about male-dominated or anything. This is about what's good, what sucks.
Not.
If it sucks, we stay away from it. There are female protagonists in games that are good, and we're like, make more of them shits. Metroid, anyone?
Yep.
So the thing about it is, when any social justice gaylord tries to bring that bullshit out, as far as saying that misogyny or oh my god, it's just men in video games, or it's just women in bikinis, or anything like that, it's like, okay, well, what about this? Who's the protagonist in Tetris? Who's the protagonist in UN Squadron or Gradius or R-Type?
Pro-Am?
Who's the protagonist in Pole Position? Galaga? Who's the protagonist in Asteroids? Look, Missile Command, all that shit. We play games because they're fucking fun. No more. No, if the game is boring, if the game sucks, you can't move. I don't give a damn. There's too many men that I can't even fucking control correctly. I'm done with that fucking game. This has nothing to do with male or females or the mission or anything like that. This has anything to do with everything is fun and everything fucking works. Everything sounds good, so on and so forth. And if anyone that's watching this, any developer, anybody that, look, get this through your fucking heads, it is because it's fucking fun. That's the reason why we play video games.
I mean, and that old narrative that you know, that we're not, whoever wants to play video games or wants to get into video games, male or female, purple, white, green, orange, we don't care what your color is, what your sex is, come here. Let me show you how to play some good ass games. My sister
is the one that introduced me into video games.
That's what I'm saying. So stop that bullshit saying that, you know, no, that's just unacceptable.
You know, for the longest time,
we are not a hardcore group that says, oh, this is only a boys club, this is only a girls club. No,
it was never about that. If someone wanted to play, and this is a fucking hobby.
Well, actually, you know, for the longest time, all right. Funny thing is, and I'll just take like a minute and a half to say my final thoughts on this. All right. One of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this is that for the longest time, I didn't actually own any of my own video games until after I graduated high school and I was able to make my own money. All right. My parents didn't want me making videos. Didn't want me playing video games. All right. They told me for the longest time that, hey, you're not going to get any place at all being tied up or doing anything with video games. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to be successful. You're just going to be a loser, waste of space, just like all those other guys who you can find in the fucking arcades. Okay.
Let me cut you off for a brief moment. Mm-hmm. That's another reason why girls don't play it, because that's what girls are told.
Yeah. You know, and the funny thing is that all my technical skills and everything that I went out of my way to pursue, because I wanted to play more games. I want to play more games on PC and everything. When I actually moved out on my own, things were kind of rough and I had to find my way. But, you know, I ended up working for Nintendo, went through my technical skills and everything else, came back to California without not very much money and with a lot of extra pounds on me, a lot older. I ended up getting, after going around doing a few tech testing jobs and other things, I ended up working at Activision. All right. I was there for a few years, and Activision segued into other jobs that I've had, other high-tech jobs. All right. Everything in my professional career, all my greatest successes, even the position that I'm in now, happens to be related to the fact that I was passionate about trying to learn how to play more fucking video games. All right. And sure, yeah, I could have went ahead and said to my parents, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm working at some huge publisher. You can fuck off and kill yourself now. No, I love my parents to death, all right? But they sure as hell have never said anything about that ever, 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 ever again since I've been living on my own, all right? Because guess what? Just like the people who are complaining about this shit should do, when people are adults, leave them alone. And that's exactly what my parents did.
So my final thoughts are, your campaign did not work. I got it right here in my hands. I've played it. Yes, it's good. Recommend it. Everybody. Actually, I recommend everybody get this, just to give everybody, you know, the SJWs a middle finger saying you cannot control what can and cannot come in to the U.S. just because you don't like what's on the cover or the context of the game. That's why, again, that's why there's little marks here saying that this is 18. This is an adult game, a game for an adult.
My final thoughts, I've been playing video games ever since the age of 2. Been having fun with them each and every step of the way. Been bored with some Some are great, some are bad, some are like, I don't want to play this shit. Some I played more than others, and I've been playing ever since because they're fucking fun. I will buy a PS4, and I will play this, and I will fucking have fun with it, or I'll be bored with it. But that is a decision that I have the fucking right to make. You didn't stop me from getting it. You're not going to stop me from getting anything else. Now, for any of you that will like a copy, it's playasia.com. I will leave a link below. I look again.
Also, Amazon.com as well. They're selling them as well.
Yes, they are. So you're not left out. Their scheme didn't fucking work. We have to fight this shit because as adults, or just as fucking look, we as human beings have the choice of whatever the fuck we want to do, and that should stay that way. Freedom should stay intact. Freedom of expression, speech, and freedom of fucking enterprise should stay that way. So if you want to fight this shit, that's the way to fight it.
You have to exercise those freedoms to guarantee that you're actually going to keep them.
Exactly. So questions, comments below.
Like this video.
Hey, like this video, dislike it. Questions, comments below. Subscribe to our channels. But hey, this is the theme.
The Reverend.
And Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming. Credits. Ha ha ha, you didn't stop us.
No, you did not.